Okay, sure. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Reverend Mary Dunn, and it is my honor to be here with you this morning.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, Reverend Denise. Oh, look at his head. Well, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that we are open. So whether you're sitting here with us or whether you're watching us from home, we want you to know that we are sending you our love. That we truly know that our Unity family is precious. I am looking, do we have anyone here for the first time?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Sir, do you want to stand and tell us who you are and where you're from?
Hi, I'm Mitch Fox. I'm originally from Maryland and a few years in North Carolina, and now I'm living here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're glad to have you. We want you to know that we're here to support you wherever you are and however we can in your spiritual journey. So hoping you'll come back and consider being part of our Unity family.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. That's it. All right, so announcements. Today I am serving as a prayer chaplain. So if you have any wish to pray or to give gratitude, I'm happy to meet with you over there after service and do that. Our board member today is Valerie Griffin. If you have questions about the board or the church, please feel free to talk with her. And would you now join me in saying our mission statement? It's in your bulletin. Together, our mission is to provide a prosperous and loving community by connecting to God through prayer and following the teachings of Christ. Can we say that one more time, please? Our mission is to provide a prosperous and loving community by connecting to God through prayer and following the teachings of Christ.
The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. Greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. I want to know you more. I want to know you more. Greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. Greatest thing in all my life is loving you. Greatest thing in all my life is loving you. I want to love you more. I want to love you more. Greatest thing in all my life is loving you. Greatest thing in all my life is serving you. Greatest thing in all my life is serving you. I want to serve you more. I want to serve you more. Greatest thing in all my life is serving you.
Please join me in affirming our opening statement. Together, I am one with divine wisdom. I see my way clearly. Again, please. I am one with divine wisdom. I see my way clearly. And join me in prayer. And we say, Father, Mother, God, living, loving presence. We are aware, Father, of your divine wisdom. We are aware of the presence, the Christ presence within us, knowing that it is stronger than any challenge we may face in life. We are grateful for family, for friends, for community. And because we have them, we do not want to take them for granted. We send our love, our thoughts out to those who are in need. The people in Afghanistan, the people dealing with hurricanes and wildfires. We say, Father, protect them. Keep them safe. We pray for those who are at home, who are in need of prayer, of love, and we send them our love and our blessings. We ask this and all blessings in the name and through the power of the living Christ. And so it is. Amen.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory,
The daily word is thoughts. My positive thoughts create my world. I create my life through the power of my thoughts. My positive thoughts bless my life with peace, prosperity, and wholeness. But sometimes I may experience more discord, lack, and ill health. Rather than worry or wish these things could be different, I return to my thoughts. I accept the conditions I see, but keep thoughts aligned with a more enduring truth. When faced with chaos, I affirm, the peace of God is mine. When confronted with insufficient supply, I affirm, I am part of God's abundant universe, and all my needs are met. If I feel ill, I affirm, I am made in the image and likeness of God, and I am whole. I am so grateful to keep God in my thoughts. O Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our ancestors, keep forever such purposes and thoughts in the hearts of your people, and direct their hearts towards you. 1 Chronicles 29:18.
I am as God created me. I am a light in this world. I am as God created me.
on, James. Because you are the light of the world, are you not?
Yes.
God said to let your light shine. So that's what we're here doing, right? So you're going to remember that when I tell you my joke this morning, right? It's short, so I won't put you in too much pain. So there's this Catholic priest, so you people who have been Catholics before might be able to relate to this joke. There's this Catholic priest who wants to teach the younger kids in the Sunday school class about some of the rituals of the Catholic Church. And so he asked them, all these little kids, he goes, do you know why I wear a white collar? And there's a little boy that raises his hand and says, oh, pick me, I know exactly why you wear a white collar. He goes, it's good to eliminate ticks for 30 or 60 days. Eliminate ticks, collar, dogs. Okay. Thank you for laughing today. All right, well, we're going to get on to a better subject, which is divine wisdom. That's what this whole month has been about, is divine wisdom. So watch out, because I've been dancing this weekend, so you got to know I'm in the energy of love and light and wisdom. So here we go, because that's my connection. So we have this power of wisdom that we've been given since the beginning of time. It says in the book of Genesis, God created them in His image and likeness. Well, who the heck is them? I think that's the first question I asked when I went to ministerial school. Who is them? Well, I was told that them is divine love and divine wisdom. That's your true nature. That's what you were given from the beginning when God created us, our spiritual selves. So we have this divine wisdom, but we were never really taught to use it, were we? In school, we were always taught to look at the facts, to look things up in the encyclopedia. Now we look them up on the internet, and we gather all the facts that we can gather. But that's using our logical mind. And our logical mind only has certain results, right? It can only come up with certain things. But if we tap into that divine wisdom that we are, then we get the infinite ideas, we get the answers, we get the guidance that we're looking for. But there's one more trick to that, is that you have to be quiet enough to hear that intuitive voice. You have to be quiet enough to tap into the signals that the universe is trying to show you. You have the answers already right there within you, in that divine wisdom that you are connected to 24/7. But that's not where we normally go, is it? When we have some challenge showing up in life, we look up on the internet what it means, what side effects it has. You know, we're really good at collecting information. But the one thing that we need to be doing is tapping into that wisdom that we've been given since the beginning of time. And I do have some quotes from Emerson, who said, "There is one mind common to all individual man, and by softly listening, we will hear the right word. The great need of our day is for far more training in the art of listening." This has been a no-no in education because it sounds like religion. Thus, it poses a threat to the principle of church and state. But we can't go on perpetuating the delusion that everything transcendent to the five senses is off limits to the academic process. It is time to acknowledge the reasoning power alone is never solve human problems. The more we think about a problem, the more complex it comes, unless it comes from the light. And the question is rarely asked, where does the light come from? Where does the light come from? Einstein said that all his work was a result of intuition and not of logic and reason. So I've been doing a lot of research on the power of wisdom this month. And I read a sentence that really kind of bothered me. And it said, "You will never tap into divine wisdom if you believe in evil." Wow. Unity doesn't believe in evil, and I always have a hard time getting people to understand why they don't believe in evil. And do you want to know why that's true? Because God is love. God is love. So how are we going to tap into that divine wisdom that is a part of the God Spirit within us when we're believing in evil? Evil would be separating ourselves from the power and presence of God. And I do believe I've been guided to do this message today because there's a lot of people out there that believe we're in this big fight of good versus evil right now in the world. I mean, you can find that on social media pretty easily. This is a biblical time. Good versus evil. Good is going to win. Really? Well, the Bible tells us to call everything good. God, when He created the universe, called everything good. After every day, He called it good. Paul says in the Bible to call it all good. Right? Well, that's not so easy to do when a tragedy happens. But we are supposed to call it all good. So with my ministerial mind, I thought, okay, where does this whole idea of evil come from? Right? In the Bible? Well, it starts with, in the very beginning, in Genesis, right? There's the Garden of Eden. And in that beautiful Garden of Eden is this tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And everything in this garden is created by who? God. So you can't tell me that this tree of the knowledge of good and evil is a bad thing. Because everything in this garden was created by God. And guess where this tree is? It's right there in the middle of the garden with this beautiful fruit and branches. It looks very beautiful. And what does God tell Adam and Eve? Don't eat. Do not eat from this tree, or you shall surely die. Right? Well, we're going to look at that story a little metaphysically today. Because this tree was planted by God, so it cannot be a bad thing. We're going to call it good. So, this tree is there, and we're told not to eat from it. Well, what happens to children when you tell them not to do something? They want to do it, right? You tell me I can't eat chocolate, I'm going to eat chocolate. You tell me what I can't do, and more than likely, I'm going to want to do it. So there we go. God tells you, do not eat of this tree, for you shall surely die. So, I'm going to tell you, yes, something is going to die, but you're not going to die. You're going to lose your memory of who you are. You're going to lose that memory of being in the Garden of Eden. And you're going to feel separate from the power and presence of God. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, there's a good reason. Because we are spiritual beings, we're always growing in consciousness, right? We're always growing in consciousness. And what makes us grow more than anything else is something that is that catalyst that makes us do it. That tragedy, that problem, that event that we think is evil in our lives, one, makes us turn to God, right? Because we have no way of overcoming this on our own. So as a catalyst, This tree of the knowledge of good and evil is a catalyst for us to grow spiritually, because we need it. Otherwise, we stay stagnant, right? We get comfortable in our little ruts. You know, we do this every day is the same, no challenges, and we get stuck in a rut. We put God on a back burner because everything's going good, right? So we need this tree of the knowledge, just the knowledge of good and evil. Now, I don't like to call it that. I like to call it a tree of choice. A tree of choice where we can choose to do things the hard way or the easy way, right? So we can choose wisdom, that divine quality of God that we have within us, to go through these challenges that make us grow. Or we can choose to do it on our own. We can choose to use that ego part of ourselves that says, oh, I've got this. I know how to achieve my dreams. I know how to get what I want in life. I know how to do this all by myself. So we can go through life either doing things the easy way, knowing that God is wisdom and God in me is wisdom and I can hear that wisdom and I can achieve my dreams. Or we can go the hard way. Either way, we still get the same result. One just is easier than the other. And then we know about the serpent, right? The serpent, the evil serpent who slides into the picture. But the serpent is just that part of you that's ready for this challenge to learn about the power and presence of God. That's what every challenge in life is. Every tragedy that happens, every challenge, every problem is an opportunity for us to learn and to feel and to know the power and presence of God. That's what every one of them is. And you can call that good, or you can call it evil. But if you call it evil, you're going to get that energy of negativity that goes along with it. You're going to go down that negative spiral that says, oh, this is awful. How am I going to get through this? Oh, this person is so mean to me. I can't believe that they're even here disturbing me, causing me problems. And then we want to accuse the devil of doing it, right? If you're going to believe in evil, there's a devil, right? And you go punch somebody in the face and say, oh, I'm sorry, the devil made me do it. Doesn't that sound just like a way of not taking responsibility for what you're doing? That there's some evil power, some evil spirit out there that has the power to tempt you, to make you do something awful? Does that even make sense? If you believe that you're a divine child of God, and you are, how could there ever be any other power in the world to take something away from you? There's not. There's not. So if we call everything good, and I have an example for you. We call everything good. Then we put our positive energy into whatever tragedy is happening. Then we can see how the power and presence of God works in and through us. Then we can feel that energy, we can hear that guidance, and we can overcome whatever that challenge is. But you're always given a choice. Do you want to use your wisdom, your power, your love? Or do you want to use your ego that says, I can do it alone. I may be suffering, but I can do this by myself. I may be hitting my head up against the wall, experiencing the same thing over and over again, but I myself, all by myself, can do this. It's yours. It's your choice. It's your choice. So what do you want to believe? Do you want to believe there's a power out there, Satan, the devil, who's here to tempt you at every corner, who's just waiting to see if he can step in and make you do something bad? I don't know. That's not where I am. That's not what I've been taught. Unity believes there's only one power, one presence in the world, and that is God, the good, omnipotent. So we are not to judge by the world of appearance. We've been told that by Jesus time and time again. Do not judge by the world of appearance, which means we shouldn't be judging people's behavior. We should just be sending them light and love and not calling them evil, not calling them bad. Because all you're doing is adding more negative energy to what they already are. Not giving them an opportunity to step out of that negative energy with the love that you can send them. So I read this story in my research, which is a really good story, and it's a true story. But there was this lady who was coming to her son's murder trial, and she is in the courtroom listening to the sentence of this man who has killed her son. She's listening. And the judge says he's guilty of murder and that he's going to serve 3 years in prison, and he slams his gavel on the desk. And you want to know what she does? She stands up and she says, "I'm going to kill you." And that was the end of that day. Well, as the time starts to progress, she stops by the jail and leaves money for cigarettes for this man. And a few more months will go by and she leaves money for food for this man. And so during this 3-period time, she's always stopping and leaving money for him. So you gotta wonder what she's up to, right? So the time for his release from jail rolls around. And she asks him, "Do you know what you're doing once you get released?" And he says, No, I've never had a job. I've always been a part of this gang. I don't know. I don't have any skills. I don't know what I'm doing. And she says, "Well, I'll tell you what. My friend who works in the factory has a position that's open." She says, "That position is open to you if you want." So she leaves him that day, and then she comes back the next day, and they're getting ready to let him go. And she asks him, "Do you have a place to stay?" And he says, "Well, no, I've been homeless all my life, so I don't know where I'm going to stay." And she says, "Well, you know what? I have a spare bedroom in my house. You can come stay with me." So that's what he does. For 8 months, he's there, working at the factory and staying with her. So eventually she says to him, "Do you remember what I said to you the day they did your sentence?" And when I'm hearing that story, my heart kind of just drops. "Do you remember what I said to you?" He goes, "Yes, you said you were going to kill me." And she says, "And I have killed that boy who killed my son. He no longer exists. He no longer exists," because she was willing to take a tragedy and call it good. She loved this boy, even though he killed her son. And look at the miracle that happened in the story. The boy is working. The boy is being fed. The boy is being loved. And she asked him, "Can I adopt you as my son?" And he said, "Yes." So the boy who never had a mother got one. The mother who lost her son has another one. And the big miracle happened because she called the tragedy good. She set an intention that she was going to love this boy, even though he killed her son, because this child had never been loved. The child had never been loved. What an amazing story that is. A great example that shows us that instead of calling things evil, we call it all good. We can use our divine love and our divine wisdom to transform a situation into something that is beautiful. Something that is beautiful. So I find that amazing story. Because I was expecting her to trick the boy by doing all these things. That's where my mind goes. She's tricking him, and then in the middle of the night, she's going to kill him, right? Well, that was not her intention at all. And she didn't call him evil. And look what happened. There's more stories like that in the Bible. There's Joseph, the boy with the coat of many colors. His father thought he was the favorite son out of 12, and the other 11 boys didn't like that. Naturally, we don't like that when we think somebody's getting more attention than us, right? So those other boys plotted to kill him. And the boy in the Bible, who metaphysically represents wisdom, says, oh no, we should not kill him. Let's not do that. So they didn't do that, but they threw him in a pit. They threw him in a deep pit that he couldn't get out of. And while they were sitting eating their lunch, they see a caravan coming, and they say, oh, guess what? We can make some money. Let's sell Joseph into slavery, right? Well, that looks pretty tragic, doesn't it? Doesn't that look evil? Something awful? But that's not what Joseph does. Joseph represents the power of imagination. That's why he has a coat of many colors. So Joseph doesn't go to that place of this being tragic and how evil his brothers are. So he gets taken away and he gets given to Potter, who is a captain in Pharaoh's army. And Potter sees that that God loves Joseph, and that everything Joseph touches turns into prosperity. And he can see the light of God in Joseph. So guess what? Joseph is not treated as a slave. He gets treated as somebody of importance. He becomes his right-hand man. And that's going really good, except guess what? Potter's wife has a thing for him. She's really attracted to him. She really wants to get something going with him. So she keeps tempting him and she keeps tempting him. Now Joseph is smart enough not to play along in this game and says no. And what does she do? She grabs his coat off and starts screaming like she's being attacked and tells her husband that Joseph attacked her. And guess what? He gets thrown in jail again. He gets thrown in jail again. Doesn't that look like evil? Doesn't that look like something awful and tragic? But Joseph knows who he is. Joseph is connected to that divine wisdom, and he represents that imagination power within us. He doesn't go there. So he's in prison and he's interpreting prisoners' dreams. And guess what? Pharaoh has a dream that he needs interpreted, right? And so he gets out of prison, again, using his wisdom, his power of imagination, to interpret dreams. And his interpretation of the Pharaoh's dream is right. There's going to be 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of lack. And so he becomes Pharaoh's right-hand man. Why? Because he called every tragedy that happened in his life good. He called it good and used his love and his power and his imagination to create something amazing from it. Something amazing. So he ends up providing food for the whole land of Egypt for all those years where they were in a place of lack. And yes, his brothers eventually have to come back, right? Because they're in that place of lack and limitation, and they need food. And lo and behold, who do they run into? There's Joseph. But they don't recognize him. They don't recognize him. And we all know the end of the story. He forgives them. He forgives them for what they did to him. So if we want to be connected to this divine energy that is within us, if we want to be connected to that power of wisdom that is within us, that lets us know everything's going to be all right, that if we stay in this place of love and light and wisdom, we will overcome whatever it is, and we will come out smelling like roses. This woman whose son died has another opportunity to raise another son, and this boy who never had a mother is now being loved. All because something tragic happened. Joseph, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, put in prison again because of the captain's wife. Did you hear him complain once in this story? No. You just take what happens, call it good, stay connected to that power and presence that is within you, that leads, guides, and directs you, and you will come out way better than you were before it all happened. But you can't do that if you call it evil. You can't do that if you believe there's a second power out there that's out there to get you. None of that good stuff is going to happen because you called it evil. And you separated yourself from God, and you are now living life on your own the best you can. And even with Jesus, let's take the stories of Jesus. Anytime he healed someone, did you hear him ask them how they got to where they were or why they were sick? No. He just saw them for who they were, a divine child of God. He saw the truth of them. He saw them as that loving, courageous soul. And because that person had faith, they were healed. It was their own faith that healed them. Jesus really did not heal them. Jesus held them in that space of love and light, knowing the truth for them. But they had to have the faith that that love and light would heal them. And the same is true for the lady in the Bible who has a blood disease, and she's had it for 12, 13 years. But she knows through the power of wisdom within her that all she has to do is touch the hem of Jesus' garment, and she will be healed. That's all she knows, and she believes in it. Now, she's not in great shape, so she just can't walk up to him. She's got to get through a crowd of people. And she's able to get through that crowd of people just to touch the hem of his garment. And even though Jesus is in a crowd of people, he knows somebody has touched that consciousness of the Christ, that consciousness of love and joy and healing. And he asks, who touched him? And of course, the disciples think he's crazy. We're in this big crowd of people. How are we going to know who touched you? But she speaks up for herself. And she says, it was I who touched you. And every person that Jesus ever healed was told to sin no more. Now, do you want to know why he tells them that? Oh, I know, because sin's a bad thing and it's evil? No, unity sees sin as being error thinking, negative thinking, thinking that you're not the divine child of God, anything that is not the truth of you, thinking that you're poor, thinking that you're, old, thinking that you're lonely, thinking that you're abandoned, thinking that you're not loved. Any of those ideas, he's telling you to think them no more. Otherwise, you will end up right back where you were. And it will come back even bigger because you're in a higher place in consciousness. You've healed yourself. So you're in a place where you know who you are. You have the faith to know that Christ in you can heal you. Right? So if you decide to slide back and believe that you're not worthy, or that you're not lovable, or whatever negative energy you want to go back to, you're going to recreate the same tragedy over. And it's going to be bigger because you're in a bigger place in consciousness. So Jesus says, sin no more. We don't want to go back to the old way we were thinking. Holding on to unforgiveness is probably one of the biggest disease creators in our country. Believing that people are evil is probably another one. Because it's not the truth. It's something that separates us from God. So, we can't go back that way. If we do, we just recreate it. And we know we recreate things, right? Because you can have a job that you don't like. There's that one person that really aggravates you. So you quit the job because you can't handle them anymore. And you go get your new job. And, oops, look, there's that same person. There's that same controlling, whatever you want to call them, negative person. There they are. All over again. Some people do that with husbands or wives. We get divorced. We think we've gotten rid of whatever our problem is. And then we meet somebody else. And we experience the same thing over again. Because we never took the time to reflect, to see what it is that we believe about ourselves, whatever negative belief it is, to heal that and to let it go. Because that's what all these tragedies come to do. Because they're not tragedies. They are experiences to get you to let go of some negative memory, some negative thoughts, some negative feelings, some negative experience, to heal that from your consciousness. So it's going to keep showing up until you do the work. Until you decide to love yourself, which is the key to the whole thing. Because if you love yourself, you know you're a divine child of God. You're connected to that power of wisdom. You can overcome anything. You can create anything. Whatever your heart's desire is, the universe is here to help you create it. But if you're not in tune with that wisdom, you don't see the signs. Maybe you don't attract the right perfect people to create your dream. So you have to stay connected to that wisdom, that love that is within you. And not see things as tragedies, not to see things as evil, but call it all good. Call it all good. So I know we've all had probably circumstances in life that we would have called evil, right? There are things that happen. We have no control over them. I mean, I've had my experiences. My ex-husband committed suicide. Now, I could call that a very evil experience. He abandoned his children. He left me with a big mess, right? What an evil tragedy. But you want to know what happened? As soon as I quit calling it evil or something bad, and trying to say that something good would happen, good things happened. I mean, my kids and I had to pull together as a family unit like never before. My kids and I know how much love there is between me and them because we went through this tragedy together. And they know their father loves them. They do. But Dad just needed to go on. And that's okay. And it taught Mom that she is a lot stronger than she ever believed she could be. Sometimes we need to know that we're strong. Sometimes we need to know and feel God is with us. Well, I spent a lot of time in prayer during that experience. And you better believe I found God in a deeper way than I ever had known God before, because I couldn't understand why anything like that would ever happen to me. So as soon as I quit feeling like a victim, as soon as I said, okay, God, I'll call this good, even though I can't see it, I'm going to call it good. And it didn't. My children are close. I'm close to both my sons. I'm a much stronger person than I was before. I have a deeper connection to God than I did before I had it. So you got to see the blessing that came from it. And that's what every condition in our life is here to do. To give us a deeper relationship to God. To get us to connect to that power of presence. To see the good that can manifest even from a tragedy. We could use 9/11 as another example. Yes, it was a tragedy, but it pulled our country together. It pulled people together. We were helping one another. We were giving blood. We were doing everything in our power to help these people get through what had happened on 9/11. It pulled our country together. So yes, was it a tragedy on the surface? Yes. Would some people call it evil? Yes. But when we call it good, we can see the good that was created from it. People loving each other again. People not caring whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. We got to help these people who are in need. People who didn't care whether you had a mask on or not. People who don't care that whether you've been vaccinated or not. Something happens to bring us all together. Because that's really what we need most right here and right now in this time in the world. We need to stop this silliness and all truthfulness of vaccinated and not vaccinated, mask and no mask. We're letting something very small create division within our families, within our friends, within the world. And when you take a step back and you look at it, doesn't that just seem crazy? That something as small as a mask or somebody getting vaccinated could destroy relationships? No. We all need to come back to remembering who we are, what our purpose is here in life, and that is to love one another, to love one another, to behold one another, to be there for one another. And just like this lady whose son got murdered, to create a miracle through tragedy is what we are here to do. There is no such thing as evil. There's only the power and presence of God. If something bad happens, God can turn it into something amazing. Something amazing. But we have to stay in that place of love and light and wisdom. So let's have our time of prayer and meditation. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And take this time to remember who you are. For you truly are a spiritual being. You truly are a child of God. So feel that power, that presence that is right there within your own mind and within your own heart. And if there's anything in your life or in your world that you see as evil. It's time to let it go. It's time to make that full connection to the power and presence of God and claim it all good. For love is transformative. That love of God can take any situation and transform it into a true miracle. So we claim the truth today. There is only one power. There is only one presence. There is only God, the good, unlimited. And we choose to live our life centered in that love. No matter what the world of appearance is trying to show us, we know who we are. We are the light of the world. And we are here to let our light shine. So let's take this time to feel that energy, to feel that light, to feel that wisdom and love that are within. And to let that energy grow and expand. That we can cover the whole world in this beautiful energy of love and peace and joy. Just sending it out to touch the hearts of every soul on this planet. That they are loved. That in this light we can heal our world, we can heal our planet. So today we choose to call it all good. So let's take this moment to just be in the silence, to claim the truth about yourself, that you are divine love and wisdom, that your purpose is to shine your light to the glory of God and to see all things good. So we take this time to become aware of our surroundings, to hear the music that James is playing, and to wrap all that light under your feet so you're grounded to Mother Earth. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes and always remember that you are the light, that you have the power of wisdom within you to overcome all things. And so it is. Amen.